So I've been learning something recently. Actually, I think it's more than recently. It's been taking a long time to learn this lesson. I don't believe that I've quite learned it yet. I think I'm still in process, but I want to talk to you guys about that today so we can learn together. What's up, y'all? It's Rachel Elizabeth. You're watching Real Talk with Rach, where we talk about real talk. Basically, we're cutting to the chase and we're getting down to the things that are hard to talk about and actually cause us to stretch and grow. Just like in physical training, your muscles have to break down before they can grow stronger. That's what these conversations are meant to do. So, sounds like fun, huh? It really is, actually, because once you get on the other side of it and you're in the understanding frame of mind, you no longer have to worry or fear the real talk conversations, then there's a lot more freedom. So real talk really equals freedom. I like that. Okay, so what we're talking about today is contentment and consistency. And they really go hand in hand a lot more than I thought they did until maybe even today. But the learning process for me on both of these issues has been years in the making, and probably my whole life, but really it's been intensified the last few years, and maybe even this last week or the last month specifically. Now, first of all, I have to share a little bit about what I've been going through, and if you've been watching these videos, you have some idea, but generally speaking, God has taken me through a crazy few years of this stripping process where he's taken away everything that I've relied on or put my security in that was not him. He's taught me how to trust him in new ways. He's taught me how he is my father, my provider, my protector, my defender. He fights for me. I don't have to. He created me fearfully and wonderfully, and I am made in his image, so I am perfectly and wonderfully made. My value is secure because I am made in his image and he is never changing. And his value is, he's the source of value. So all of those things are things that he's been teaching me, but in order to teach me those things, he has to bring me, just like he probably will bring you, into these places and spaces and seasons of life where those beliefs are tested. That faith is tested. Do you believe that he is your provider? He's going to take you to a place of need. Do you believe he's your protector? He might take you to a place where you feel unsafe in your own abilities and your own surroundings, but he always comes through and always protects you. Do you believe that your value is in him? He might take you to a place where he challenges you to, ladies, maybe not wear makeup for a while, and challenge you to see if your faith in him and your value in him is where he wants it to be. Because the reason he does all these things is to bring us into a new understanding of freedom so that we don't have to worry about those things, so we can rest and trust him that he's going to work all things out. Now, he takes us through all these things, just like he's taken me through all these things to teach me all those lessons and learn how to trust him and rest in him. But I'm struggling with contentment because of the new season that he's brought me to, which is this season of, let me put it this way. Many of you know I tend to be someone who is highly ambitious and goes after anything I set my mind to, and in the past has always succeeded at those things. There might have been like a hiccup or two on the road there, but I always got to my goal. Whether that was a fitness goal or a business goal or a career aspiration or achievement in some other way, I always got there. But God has taken me to a place, a new place, where ambition isn't enough and striving won't get me anywhere like it used to. And he's taught me that to rest in him is a good thing, and to not fear the loss of time, because there is no loss of time when we serve the author of time. So he's taken me to this place where anything I set my mind to do is immediately shut down, or I try it and I majorly fail. And these aren't failures that are the type that you get back up and you try it again. This is like some unexplainable, I'm gonna do my best. It's the feeling of a brick wall every direction you turn. You can't get through that wall if you try. This isn't a case of fall 7 times, get back up 8 times. It's not like that. It's like the spiritual red light, where I literally cannot go anywhere until God lets me. I think God takes us through this series of faith tests to get us to a place where He can test us in the next thing. It's different for every person, but when God teaches us in any way, it's going to require a test to see if we believe what we say we believe about Him. Now, that said, I have struggled with contentment in this season because there's nothing that I can perceive as progress. However, the reason why I'm talking about contentment and consistency is that the lesson that is so incredibly difficult for me to learn right now that He's taking me through, well, at least I believe He's taking me through, isn't just something that requires patience and perseverance. Those are definitely required. But what He's teaching me is that He can do extraordinary things in the ordinary, in the in-between times, and in the seemingly mundane and seemingly purposeless. And y'all know, if you've watched these videos, that when something strikes a chord with something that is truly going on in my heart, in my life, I get emotional, and this is no exception. So, man, it's hot in here. Y'all see me sweating right now? This is ridiculous. But because this is real talk, God always has me talk about things that are very real and really difficult to me too. Real talk, I guess it's a confession. I have this fear of ordinary. I really struggle with the idea that this is it. This is life. I really struggle with the lie of someday. Someday I will reach my goal here. Someday I will have reached this degree of XYZ. Someday I'll be married with kids. Someday I will be, again, XYZ. It doesn't matter because someday doesn't exist. And I know that's hard for some of you to hear too, but it's true, and deep down you know it's true, because while it is good to have vision and purpose and excitement and expectancy for the future, because that is God's heart too. There's so much to look forward to in the future, especially as it relates to our relationship with Jesus and what's yet to come for eternity, and just how perfect it's going to be when we meet Him face to face. As much as that is good, our lives aren't lived in the future. Our lives are lived in the day-to-day, in the here, in the now, in the present, in the right now, not in the what's to come, not in the possibly or hopefully or I believe this about the future or my future, or this is my calling, this is what's going to happen, or this is my purpose because God told me that's what I'm supposed to do, or someday I'm going to be in this place in life because I've seen a vision of it. That's not where life is lived. That's not where the miraculous happens. The miraculous happens right here, right now, in the ordinary, in the mundane, in the regular, in the normal, in the how long, oh Lord, in the routine, in the struggle, in the hard stuff, in the relationships that we have, in the communication, in the trials, and in the tests that God walks us through. Now, that's the struggle. That's real talk. That's what we all have to face. You know, I have to be completely honest, as always, and tell you that there's something about daydreaming about the future that gets me through my struggle with discontentment about my current stage of life. And I actually have another video called Destroying Discontentment that talks more on that subject, and you can catch that over here. But something that I don't think I realized is what God's been convicting me of today. That in my daydream about the future, in order to get out of what He has me in today, is ultimately another way of saying, God, I am not grateful for what you have me in today. God, I'm not content in what you have me in today because it's not good enough. God, I'm not grateful for the simple fact that you are walking with me through this. The simple fact that you will never leave me or forget about me or abandon me. The simple fact that God is here right now with you, with me, wherever we are, whatever our today looks like, whether it's full of so many earthly joys or it's full of a struggle with discontentment and patience and perseverance and struggle and hardship, or whatever the worst case scenario is that you're finding yourself in. God has not abandoned you. And I know that my struggle right now is minimal compared to some things that you guys are going through. And my heart breaks to even imagine what those things might be. And I'm no stranger to that degree of hardship. I've had my share of much more horrific trials. But the truth is, what got me out of those things was not time, was not escaping to Netflix binging or sex, drugs, or alcohol, or you name it, in self-medication. What really got me through those things into a place of healing and freedom was acknowledging that God was there with me through it, that He was leading me through it, that there was purpose in it, that He was going to turn all things to good for His glory, that the best is yet to come, and that nothing is wasted. No tear is wasted, no pain is wasted, no moment is wasted. And His promises in His Word that I stuck on sticky notes all over my apartment to remind myself of when my mind got on this loop of depression and lies from the enemy and just all of these negative thoughts. Those promises out of God's Word, those are what got me through. His presence and remembering that He was there with me got me through. Remembering who He is, and that is faithful, that is unwavering, that is all-powerful and sovereign and good and love and gentle and compassionate. Those things got me through. So if I can give you some practical tips for everything that I covered here today, that would be: number one, acknowledge where you are right now, today, not tomorrow, not where you're dreaming of being, today. Number two, don't look backwards, you're not going there. Fix your eyes ahead on Jesus and do not take your eyes off of Him, because He is the goal, He is the prize. Everything else is going to be taken care of, but you gotta get your eyes fixed on Him. You gotta get your mind fixed on His promises. So practically speaking, if your mind is on loop on negative things, on lies, start replacing those with truth. Start preaching the Word to yourself. Start reminding yourself of God's promises. And always, always, always remember, and do whatever you need to do to remember, because it's so easy to forget, and fear is in the forgetting. Do whatever it takes to remind yourself that God is with you, currently with you, physically, spiritually with you, and that He is for you, not against you, that He loves you, and that He will never abandon you, that He chooses you, that He calls you beloved, and that He made you perfectly, and that He has plans for you. So that's all I'm going to say for today. We are in this together. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for doing life with me through this series. Y'all, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends, somebody that it might encourage. And if you'd like to go a little more in depth, please consider joining my Patreon family. I will link that up here and at the end of this video and in the description box below. You guys are amazing. I'll see you next time. Bye. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, I want to know if you're sweating as much as I am right now. I am actually in a very temperate climate, but in order to block out sound and make this video a little bit easier to hear, I closed all the windows and it's like a freaking sauna in here. So tell me how hot or cold it is. Give me the temperature where you are right now. I'm in Los Angeles, California in the South Bay, and it is about 70 to 80 degrees outside and about 500 degrees inside. I'll see you next time. Bye.